The middle class was trained to worship saving money. Cut expenses, skip vacations, stop buying coffee, leave below your means, stack cash, and one day you'll be financially free. But here's the uncomfortable reality. Saving money alone will never make you wealthy. And the people who taught you that don't build wealth that way themselves. If saving built wealth, the most disciplined savers would be the richest people in society. Teachers would be billionaires. Accountants would dominate Forbes lists. People obsessing over coupons would own private jets. But that's not how the real world works. The wealthiest people on the planet don't focus on preserving money. They focus on positioning money. And that difference changes everything. Saving feels responsible. It feels disciplined. It feels safe. And psychologically, safety is addictive. And that's why it's so powerful as a narrative. But safety doesn't multiply money. It preserves it. And preservation alone can't outrun inflation. While you were told to protect your dollars, asset owners were multiplying theirs. Let's talk about something most people ignore. Inflation. If you kept $100,000 in savings over the past decade, it quietly lost purchasing power every single year. You felt secure, but your money was shrinking invisibly. Meanwhile, asset owners were benefiting from market growth, real estate appreciation, business equity, compounding returns. The saver felt secure, but the owner got richer. Quietly. Imagine a 32-year-old engineer earning a solid salary. For 10 years, he does everything right. He saves aggressively, avoids risk, builds a six-figure savings account. By 42, he feels safe. Now imagine that same engineer, same salary, but instead of parking most of his capital in a bank, he acquires small equity stakes, buys into index funds, and puts money into appreciating assets. 10 years later, the difference isn't discipline. It's direction. One path protected income. The other built ownership. The middle class is taught. Work hard. Save consistently. Avoid risk. But wealth is built through calculated risk. Ownership. Leverage. Asymmetry. The wealthy don't aim to avoid risk entirely. They aim to control it. There's a difference. Avoiding risk keeps you stable. Managing risk makes you wealthy. Saving money gives you control over small decisions. But ownership gives you control over large outcomes. So why does this saving advice continue? Because saving is easy to teach. It requires no creativity, no financial literacy, no courage. Investing requires thinking. Ownership requires courage. Leverage requires education. It's simpler to tell millions of people, just save, than to teach them how wealth actually compounds. You cannot cut your way to wealth. You can budget perfectly, cancel subscriptions, skip luxuries, and still remain financially average. Because wealth is not built through restriction. It's built through expansion. Expansion of assets. Expansion of equity. Expansion of cash flow streams. Saving protects you from disaster. Ownership changes your trajectory. If this makes you uncomfortable, good. Comment offense if you're done playing financial defense. This is not an argument against saving entirely. This doesn't mean never save. Emergency funds matter. Liquidity matters. But worshiping savings as the wealth strategy, that's the trap. Because you can't cut your way to wealth. You can only build your way there. And here's the part no one says out loud. The system benefits when you think small, when you focus on budgeting perfectly instead of thinking about ownership, when you debate coffee prices instead of learning capital allocation, when you protect dollars instead of acquiring assets. Because asset owners win quietly, while savers feel busy. And until you understand the difference, you'll feel responsible, but never powerful. This is the shift the middle class was never clearly taught. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most people will ignore this. They'll go back to budgeting perfectly and thinking small. But if you want to understand how the wealthy actually position money, subscribe, because this channel is where we dismantle it. Also, watch this next video right here, because saving is just the first layer. Ownership is the real game.